Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and welcome to a special edition of Asian and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. And I'm here today to talk to you about The Forbidden Kingdom, the 2008 martial arts movie with Jackie Chan and Jet Li. It happened. It finally happened. Fans got their wish. And this is something I've wanted to see for years. Ever since I became a fan of both Jackie Chan and Jet Li, I wanted to see them in a movie together. But they never did one. And so, because of that, it caused fans to speculate. Are they even friends? Do they get along? Like, what's the deal? Apparently, they've been friends for 30 years. And for 20 of those years, they've been trying to do a movie together. It just never came to fruition until now. Well, back in 2008 now. And there was a point in time where Jackie didn't even like Jet because Jet did the 1995 High Risk movie where Jackie felt like he made fun of him. And so it put a rift in their friendship for a short period in time, but they became friends again. Kind of similar to the whole Michelle Yeoh. Like Jackie said some like disgusting things about how women shouldn't make it in like martial arts movie and they should stay in the kitchen, and that pissed Michelle Yeoh off. But just like with Jet, him and her are friends again. And so like this movie is something I've been wanting to see forever. But I didn't want to see it back in ancient times. I wanted it in the modern day with their normal hairstyles and them constantly just fighting each other throughout the entire movie. Technically, they do fight each other throughout the movie, but they argue mostly. They just can't get along because they're both trying to teach this one dude martial arts. But they do actually have a fight scene, and the fight scene goes on for a really long time. But it's worth it. But it's so choreographed, and there is some wire work. 'Cause I don't think they have that great of balance. You know what I'm saying? But it's worth it. Like it's worth just watching those two like go at it. But you really want to see them go at it like in the modern day without wire works and this and that. Because it's too overly choreographed. So whenever you see those two in their own individual martial arts movie, you know their fighting styles, you know how they are. And this just came off as like poetry in motion, like a dance, you know what I'm saying? And so this movie I think it's great. I think it's awesome. I got to learn a little bit about like the Eight Immortals, a little bit about the Monkey King. Not much. It doesn't go too much into their history, which is quite a shame because this is the first time I ever heard about these people. But I do think that John Fresco did write a very good screenplay. See, the thing is that like again like see he grew up like most people. Sorry that like congested. Like he grew up like most people in the West, you know, not knowing martial arts, watching martial arts movies or television shows, and getting very influenced by it. And because of that, he took up martial arts, and then he got like taken out because of an injury. But then many years later, he went back to it. He started like writing screenplays, and he's worked with Jet Li before. So this is like a huge passion project of his. And you know, it's loosely based off of at least three books that I know that he mentioned. And I forget, oh, Journey to the West it's loosely based off of that book, but two other ones as well, and also a couple of like, you know, older martial arts movie like Golden Sparrow and everything. And so, like, you know, it's like a hodgepodge of like all this stuff, a huge love letter to ancient, like, you know, martial arts Hong Kong type movies. And Now I know why the protagonist is like not Chinese and stuff. You can see him inserting himself into that role, And I get it. Like, it would be fine. Like, if an American, no matter what race they are, travel back to ancient times and, had to be the one to save, like, these people and stuff like that. That's like, if it wasn't always like that in Hollywood, that would be fine. You know what I'm saying? But because it's always like that in Hollywood, always the white savior and everything, going to these foreign lands and these people of color saving the day can be the only one, it's tiresome. And so I wish the Jason character could have been Asian and stuff. But at least they point that out a lot in the movie. Like when they find out he's the chosen one, they're just kind of like, he ain't Chinese and stuff. And everybody points that out. So at least they make reference to it. But that is one thing that does like irritate people when you see that. Like Sheena, Queen of the Jungle, she's white and she's the queen of the African jungle and protects all the people because they can't protect themselves. And so that's really irritating to constantly see. It's like whitewashing and stuff. However, the Jason character, I don't know if he's Italian or Jewish because his last name sounds a little Jewish and also a little Italian. And also the actor as well. But the actor also sounds like he has a Hispanic last name. So I'm not really sure what he is. But they keep saying he's white in the movie, so I'll just go with that. Now, of course, this movie stars that of Jackie Chan and Jet Li, two of the greatest martial artists, movie stars that there are. And it also stars Li Bingbing. And where's she been? I last saw her in the X-Men movie and I ain't seen her since. I think the last movie she made was in 2009. I don't know where she went. And so like, and here she plays the white demoness, the white-haired demoness. But she only plays her. There's somebody else doing the voice because Lee can't speak English. And so like, who else does this stars? I can't say her name. I really, really can't. I have no idea how to say her name. She played in the live action Mulan movie. Lee Yinfei, I think that's how you say her name. She's in this movie. This is like the first thing I ever saw her in. And the only thing actually, because she doesn't star in many American stuff. She mostly does TV in China. And she was in Mulan. I haven't seen the live action Mulan yet. I don't know, I just haven't seen it yet. There's a lot of Disney movies I ain't seen yet. I have Disney Plus. I really need to watch them. I haven't even seen the second Black Panther movie yet, or the last Ant-Man movie. I need to like get back on that stuff. And it also stars that of Colin, is it Chow? That's how you say his name? I didn't even know it's him. I've never seen this dude with facial hair and long hair. I remember him from the second and third Matrix movie, which is funny because Jet Li was supposed to be that character, but Jet Li rejected it because he didn't understand the script. And then I also saw him in DOA, Dead or Alive, the movie. I like the action in that movie. I just don't like the movie. And I used to own it on DVD, but that was not a good movie. And then, of course, it stars that the main protagonist, Michael, and I can't say his last name, and Garo Us or something like that. I don't know how to say his last name. Look, I'm sorry. I don't know how to say your last name. I hate saying people's names because it's so hard to say. But I remember I was in college. I think it was around like, no, I wasn't in college during this time. I wasn't in college in 2008. But I remember talking to somebody from my college. This don't make no sense. Did this really come out in 2008? Because I don't remember. I remember being in college. But it can't be. Because I wasn't in college in 2008. I don't know. Maybe I saw like an early advanced screening in like a year prior or something. I don't know. Anyways, I remember I was so excited to see this movie, and I told like a friend about it because she wanted to see it, and like so it finally happened, man. And it's a really good like ancient Chinese type movie. The action is very fluid. It reminds me, like, the Hong Kong wire work of Crouching Tiger, which I still have not seen that movie either. But this is kind of like my Crouching Tiger in a way. And I was always sad it never got a sequel. I never understood why. It made pretty good movie at the box office and stuff. But you never really hear nobody talk about this no more. And whenever you do see videos about it, you see fight choreographers talking about what's wrong with the fighting technique of both Jackie Chan and Jet Li when they fight each other. I'm not watching those videos. Look, I was happy and thrilled to see those two finally fight. And I'm gonna leave it at that. I ain't gonna watch no video of somebody talking about, oh, this is wrong and this is wrong. But screw that. I ain't for that crap. They can get clicks and views and pay their light bill another way. But like I said before, I really wished it was set in the modern day because I always wanted to see Jet and Jackie in the modern day because I was not expecting to see Jackie wearing have dreads and wear a wig. But he looked cool, like dressed like that. But I was not expecting to see that. I wasn't expecting to see Jet slightly bald and stuff. I wasn't expecting Jet to be more of the humorous character, laughing and giggling and smiling. I've never seen that man smile or giggle or laugh in a movie. So this was very shocking to see. He's very straightforward and stern, and you know what I'm saying? I've never seen that side of him before. I also wasn't never seen Jackie as somewhat as kind of the serious but whimsical kind of person. Mostly he's just funny and stuff. And so this was just very shocking to see. I'm just they kind of reversed their roles what they normally play. But expectations, like I said in my other two movies about Jet Li and Jackie Chan, is that I was expecting Jackie to do his crazy stunts and stuff like that, and his expressions, and see Jet trying to fight him, and we didn't get that. But still, it was still cool to see them. They're like the Selma Hayek and Penelope Cruz, two actresses who are both Latina, who are best friends, and they only starred in one movie together. And I love period pieces, but in America, only period pieces you ever really see have to do with the Wild West, Britain, and stuff like that, the colonial stuff. And so I've never really seen anything from ancient China or their beliefs or their religion or nothing like that. Like in Hercules and Xena, it's all about Greek mythology, and every once in a while Xena would travel to an Asian country, but that's about it. So it was really cool to get to learn, well, not really so much learn, but get to experience the whole Monkey King and his golden staff. Because I wish they would have went more into detail about that, other than him being this great warrior and a shapeshifter and a prankster. I wish they would have went more and more into him. Now, there is a show on Disney Plus I'm watching called American Born Chinese that also deals with the Monkey King and his son and the staff. But those portrayals are very different from this movie. In that version, the Monkey King is more serious and a little arrogant. And his son is the more humorous one. The golden staff looks completely different. It can shrink, it can coil into each other, and it's red and gold, and it doesn't bend and wiggle like the one in this movie. And so I really wish they could have went into more detail about the Monkey King, but Jet does play the Monkey King, so that's really cool, and it's really weird to see him smile and giggle and stuff. Now, the Eight Immortals, once again, I know nothing about that. And I wish the movie would have went into them a bit more, other than them just being immortal and drinking the elixir. Which is, of course, played by Jackie's character. Then there's the whole Golden Sparrow, which is also based off a movie, and it's one actress who's considered the first Chinese action star. I can't think of her name right now. Sorry about that. And then of course there is the white-haired demoness, which originally was supposed to be a male character, but they decided to make female. And of course, there's like the Jade Emperor and stuff. So I really wish they would have went more into these people's backgrounds, other than them having to teach this foreigner like martial arts and stuff. They give a little backstory, but not much. So basically, what is this about? Well, Jason. He's a white dude from like New York, and he loves Asian movies. And just like many Westerners, he imitates what he sees on screen. This is something that has always led to many people learning martial arts. I remember I wanted to take martial arts growing up, but I couldn't afford it. But then when I was in college, I took a Tai Chi class, but I had to drop another class to take that. So I was a week late into class. And so you have like 2 classes out of the week. And I was very much behind, and everybody else was like way advanced than me in just those 2 days. And I'm just like, oh no, maybe I was 2 weeks late. Yeah, I was 2 weeks late into that class. So I was like 4 classes behind. But I ended up dropping it because I was so behind. And the teacher's all like, maybe you should drop this class because you're so behind. I'm like, lady, I can catch up if you give me time to catch up. But another reason why I dropped it is because around that time, my college started to enforce a rule that where every class had to have you reading books, doing essays, and taking tests, no matter what kind of class it was. If it was a music class where you learn how to play a musical instrument, you had to take tests and do homework assignments. If it was an art class like painting, you had to take tests on that. And it's like, what the world? Like, I take those classes so I don't have to take a test, so I don't have to write an essay. And so needless to say, I dropped it and never learned martial arts. And I really wish I did, because I really want to learn martial arts and stuff. But anyway, so this young kid, he's always hanging around Chinatown, and he's always going to the antique shop where this old man stays, and buying like martial arts movies and this and that. Well, one day he goes in the back and there's a golden bow staff, and the old man tells him, nobody's allowed in there, don't touch that staff. He found it there, it passed down to his generation from like over 100 years, and this and that. Well, there is a group of thugs led by a boy named Lupo, and Lupo's played by Morgan Bennett. And Lupo is like as gangster can be. At first, he seems like he's nice, mean, but he gets mean, and he wants to steal from the old man in the antique shop. Now, what's bad about this is that the writers made Lupo too gangsterous and too hateful. He's using a Chinese racial slur over and over, and I don't understand why his character has to use a slur. We can get it. He's a thug. He don't have to use a slur. He's very aggressive to the point where he shoots the old man, and he tries to shoot Jason because he wants to steal the staff and a bunch of money. I'm just kind of like, that's a little overkill. And his friends didn't even know he had a gun. So they kind of made him too aggressive in the movie. Now, what's interesting about Morgan is that like, because like him, Michael, Lee, and the other Lee or Lou, they didn't know martial arts, so they had to have like 2 or 3 weeks of training. But his character Morgan, he didn't have like martial arts training, but he grew to have a love of Chinese culture and martial arts to the point where he lived in China for 10 years and he learned martial arts. He became a stunt actor, an actor, a writer, and producer. I think even a director at one point. So he took a lot from this experience, you know what I'm saying? And so, of course, Jason holding on to the golden staff, he gets transported into ancient China. Now, how did the staff get there? Well, in the beginning of the movies, they talk about like the Monkey King and how he's one of the greatest warriors of all time. And he visited that of the Jade Emperor. The Jade Emperor is really nice. he told the Jade Warlord, to like, treat him with respect and all this and that. Well, the Jade Warlord is a warlord, so he's evil. And so he fights that of like the Monkey King, and he imprisoned him into stone. Before he's able to do that, the Monkey King sends his staff into the heavens, into the clouds, because they're already in the heavens, but into the clouds, and gets it as far away as he can from China, and it ends up in America. So the legend says that, a traveler will return the staff and everything. This like, chosen one who's supposed to save the day. And it turns out to be a white dude from America, which confuses a lot of people in ancient China. Is there he eventually meets Jackie's character, and Jackie's character is Liu Yang, and he's an immortal, but he doesn't know that yet. Well, Jason don't know that yet. And so, they bond and everything, and Liu, he tries to like, basically like use Jason for like, money and stuff like that, so he can buy him drinks and all this other stuff. But he sees that he has the golden staff, and he knows of the legend. And so it's there that like when he tries to pay with American money, this alerts the guards. This causes Golden Sparrow, which I didn't even know was her name, because she doesn't say her name. She speaks in a very unusual way. She talks as like she's the third person, and she refers to herself as she. And so it's like she who came from like this land, who will destroy like the Jade Emperor, not Emperor, the Jade Warlord and stuff like that. She talks like that, you know what I'm saying? And so she helps them escape. And they realize that this chosen one doesn't know Kung Fu. And they're also surprised by him being a different race. And so this causes the white-haired demoness to like, be in pursuit of them. Her agenda is that the warlord promised her the elixir to make her immortal. So eventually the staff gets stolen, and they track it down, and a silent monk steals the staff. And the silent monk is Jet Li's character. So this is what causes him and Jackie's character to fight. And the staff is very powerful. It can literally go through any like, bed of rock and stone, all this other stuff. Like, it's very powerful. So for the rest of the movie, they have to train Jason how to do martial arts. And Jason is kind of like, 2 weeks I've been like whacking weeds and this and that, and it's a toll on his body. But he is learning step by step. But the two masters can't like agree on how to teach him. And so eventually they get attacked. Well, actually, before they get attacked, it's a gross, nasty, funny scene where Jet pees on Jackie. Oh boy, that always gets me. But anyway, they get attacked by the white-haired demoness, and Liu gets shot with an arrow. So they had to take him to like a monk monastery. And those kids who's training in martial arts are amazing. Especially that one boy who's flopping on the ground, head on, face on, like it don't matter. And he's just taking it. That boy has no pain. And so the only thing that can save Liu is, of course, his elixir, because he's immortal. That's why he's constantly drinking. Well, that, and he's a drunk. He knows like drunken style martial arts. And like, and stuff. Because, I remember Jackie was in that one Drunken Master movie and stuff like that. So the silent monk tells Jason, we will attack in 2 days when it's better. But of course, he doesn't listen to him, and he attacks early. He fights the white-haired demoness and everything, only for her to get the staff to the Jade Warlord. And of course, the Jade Warlord can't be trusted. They end up whooping Jason's butt, and in comes the cavalry. First, it's the silent monk and Golden Sparrow. Golden Sparrow has a jade dart, and she wants to kill the warlord because he ransacked her village and murdered her parents. And so, like, it's a huge epic fight because the monks, they come in the fight and everything, and eventually they give Liu back, the elixir so he can like, live again. So it's a huge fight. It's Lou and the white haired demoness. They fight. It's like, Jason's fighting the guards. He gives the staff to the statue of, well, he smashes the statue of the Monkey King. And of course, the Monkey King comes back. And it turns out the Silent Monk was a remnant of, like, a variant of the Monkey King. And so with his staff, he's whooping on the Jade Warlord. But the Jade Warlord is a very tough guy. And so with Sparrow trying to kill the Jade Warlord, he kills her. And so this pisses off Jason because he likes her. He takes the dart, and then so the Monkey King kicks like the Jade Warlord into like Jason, who has the dart in his hand, and he kills the Jade Warlord. After that, the Jade Emperor comes back, and he tells him that he can't bring Sparrow back because she has made her own fate. And he sends Jason home. That's all Jason wants. And so Jason returns back to the very part where he fell off the building and smashes down into the ground. And comes Lupo in the gang, and Lupo's beating the crap out of him until Jason remembers, oh wait, I know Kung Fu. So he whoops on Lupo and everything. And it turns out the old man from the antique shop was really Lou, the immortal. And the bullet missed his heart, so he's still alive. But he's alive anyway because he's immortal, And so, like, I really like when Jackie played, like, the old man. Like at first I didn't realize it was him. Like, oh, wait, it is him. But he just acted so differently, And of course, it's so weird because there's a girl, a descendant of, like, Sparrow. And she takes a liking. Well, actually, Jason takes a liking to her. And so she works at like the Golden Sparrow, like I think like a restaurant or something like that. And so that's interesting because, he's the type of person who has no self-confidence and can't get a girl. But now he can't have the girl back in ancient China, but he can have her descendant. So it was a really good, fun movie. I do wish that they didn't have the whole white savior thing, but I do get why the screenwriter like would insert kind of like himself into the movie because of his love and passion of like, martial arts movies. And anybody would have done it. I would have done it too. But, it does suck that Hollywood always goes that route, Happy Asian and Pacific Islander month, everybody. Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.